Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on SAP UI5. In the last episode of UI5, we started looking into the CSS chapter and we saw what is the use of CSS and how can we apply CSS at the element level and also at the page level. In continuation to that, let's have a look at different more styling of CSS using our CSS internal CSS code. So let's go to the system, and now what I'm going to do is I will be creating a simple CSS, and or maybe I'll create first of all three images onto the page back to back, and I show you applying some CSS on them. So let's get started. So I quickly switch back to our HTML day 2 and just squeeze it little left on the side, and then this guy on the right hand side. And now I will go ahead and create HTML element for images. So let me do that. So those who are joining the class for the very first time, you may or may not understand some of the things. So I highly recommend you to please go ahead and look back the videos which you had already missed. Okay, so please go to the training blog and watch all the videos right from the day one which you had already missed. So this is very important. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand many of the things in today's class. So let's get started with image tag. So I'm creating here image tag, and I will also update a couple of images onto our project. So what I'll do is I'll come to the project, create a new folder inside the project, and I'll say all the images I'm going to place inside this, and then I'll just go and import some of the images from my computer. So let me browse it. I just go to my D drive SAP UI5 folder, and I will go to images and just import couple of images into the system. So let me just import an image, happy girl. Right click again, import, browse. I'll import another image, maybe an image for nature one or HD ship, and then right click, import once again an image from same folder, name guitar. So three images I have imported as part of our page, sorry, as part of our project. And now I'll just come back and put src of the image. And as you know that we are trying to create here containers, so let's put a div tag with the class name equals to my image. So that's what the class name I'm assigning to it. And now inside this container we will place our image tag. Yeah, and then let's provide the source property of the image, and then I say it's part of my images folder slash guitar.jpg. That's my first image. Let's have a look at this on the UI now. So I come back, refresh the page, and you see the guitar image is being propagated to the UI. Similarly, let's create now two more elements. So I will come back and create two more div elements with class name equals to my image, and then again emg tag with an src property, images folder slash happy girl dot jpg. Next comes is our next important div element, which is also having the same classification, my image, and then come inside img tag src property, images folder slash hd ship dot jpg. Okay, so that's all in all our three div elements which we have created by far, and now I'm going to apply some style on these div elements. For time being, let's have a quick look at on the UI what happens when these div elements are being displayed. So you'll see three images will be displaying, and these three images, the size is quite big. You see all three images are coming on the UI, but the size of all three of these images is quite big. So I need to reduce the size of these images first of all. So let's go back on the top. Now can anybody tell me what will be the selector to apply the style in this case? Anyone? What will be the selector you will use to apply the style on the images at this point of time? Anyone? What will be the selector? No, img tag should not be the selector, Raji. Yes, perfect answer, Gautam. It will be dot my image, because we are applying, when we apply the style based on class name, that protects other elements on the UI being affected because of this. So let's use this my image. Now I will probably also put a classification here if I want to, but right now I don't want to. I think the div level classification or the class name should be sufficient enough for me to apply the style. So I can come back, put my class name with the dot symbol. This is what we discussed in yesterday's class. So once again, for those who are new to today's class, please look at previous videos, and yeah, you will get fill this gap whatever you are having at this point of time. Then come is the width property, and I'll just say width is 200 pixels, as well as I want to also control the height property, 200 pixels. Save this. Let's come back and refresh the page, and you see it's still not changing the image height and width. So I think the image height and width is something which can only be controlled at the image level. So let's also give a classification for image, and I just come here and put a classification for image, and I say my img. That's a classification I'm giving only to the image element, my img. The another approach which I will show you now is, yesterday's class I showed you that typical HTML element should not be used for styling directly, because their whole and sole purpose is to make use of HTML content, right? So what you can also do is you can tell the system that apply the style on all the images, okay, all the div elements which has class name as this, but don't apply directly on this div. Apply at children of div, and every div which you see here, it has children as img. So what I'm telling system is, don't apply this style what I want directly on this div elements, but you first trace the div element and apply the style based to the children of this div element. Okay, children of this div element is what you need to apply the style. That's what exactly we need. Okay, this is what we need. So let's go ahead and try this up. So what I'll do is I'll put my tag name, then I come next, and after that here I put img, which means, what does this mean? It means go first to an element which has the, the class name as my image, and as a children of that, go to the children which is an img tag. Okay, this is the code where you can apply or target child elements. So this is a tag name which is the, now it will only apply the style on the elements which has tag name img, provided they are children of an element which has class name as my image. Hope it's clear to all of you. Okay, so let me also note down this in comment. The style will be applied on img tags, provided the parent contains class name my image. Yeah, that's a code. This is what how it will behave. Now let's apply our width and height property. Save it. Let's come back, refresh, and voila, you see the width and height property have been changed. Now who will tell me what shall I do to make it responsive? Yesterday's class we discussed about the property. Who will tell me how to add? Perfect answer, Raghavendra has got it first. It's float property. So let's apply float property to make it responsive. All three images, I say float equals to left. But what side effect float will give you when you apply a float? Anyone? Yesterday we saw the side effect of float. It was other element. Perfect answer, Meenakshi. So other elements were also getting getting appended. So if I just refresh, you see other elements are also getting appended in the float. What did we do to fix this problem? Perfect answer. Yes, clear. But that clear is something which we can do using this dummy div element which we had introduced, which is doing the clear, right? You see this dummy div element with my clear, which we did yesterday's class, and it is clearing the float. So let's use this dummy div element. That's the beauty of dummy div element. Again and again you can reuse it, and save it, and now refresh, and you see, voila, beautiful. It moves it down and all my images are in one single line. What shall I do to produce some spacing between images? Which property of CSS? Yesterday's class we saw that. Anyone? Margin. Perfect answer, Gautam, Raji, everybody has got it. So let's go on the top and add the margin property, and I say margin equals to, let's say, 5 pixels, and let's come back, refresh the page. Wow, superb, how beautiful it looks. But that's not all. Now what's new? So this is what something which we saw already yesterday, and this is something which we learned new today. But what's new? What else? So there is an also amazing possibility to blur these images. Okay, to blur these images. So let me show you that. It's called opacity property, and I'll say only 40% image should be visible, 60% part should be blurred. And you see, now it's blurred. You might have seen this on some Instagram posts or Facebook posts where they blur the image, but when you take your mouse onto the image, that's when the image displays fully, right? How can we achieve this in CSS? How can we achieve this? Yes, we have a concept called pseudo classes in CSS. Okay, we have a concept of pseudo class in CSS. Pseudo class in CSS is used for conditional styling. Okay, what is conditional styling? I want to know, or I want to apply a style on an element when there is an event on an element. Okay, I want to apply a style on an element whenever there's a specific event or a specific behavior is observed for that element. For example, so when we want to change event style on an event or condition, we can use pseudo classes. Okay, we can use pseudo classes. In this, the event will be applied based on event, or sorry, in this CSS will be applied when condition occurs or event occurs, and it gets back to normal position when event goes out. For example, when I take mouse onto an element, I want a special style. Okay, so that pseudo class name is hover. Okay, what is the syntax to apply pseudo class? It's the class name or your selector colon. Symbol will break you or make you. Symbol will break you or make you. Remember the golden rule. Colon, pseudo class name, curly braces, and inside this you can write your CSS code. Okay. Now I'll take this example of mouse over. Whenever you take the mouse onto the control, it should change the style. In this case, when I take my mouse on the image, it should change the opacity. That's what I want. How can we do that? Let's come back and use here again my image space img. Pseudo class के लिए we have to put colon and I say hover. That's my pseudo class. And now inside this I put opacity equals to 1. 100% should be visible. Watch carefully now on the UI. I come back, refresh the page. Don't forget to refresh the page. Otherwise, your response will not come. And now I hover and voila, you see the moment I hover, the picture is having 100% visibility. You see? That's how Facebook, Gmail, YouTube, all these people are doing. They are not doing any magic. They are just using pseudo classes on image tags. See? I want also nice red color border around it. So I'll say border 1 pixel or let's say 2 pixel solid red border, or I want a dotted red border. So watch carefully now. Whenever this event occurs, whenever I hover on this, you will see event gets applied. Sorry, CSS gets applied. When I take my mouse back, it gets saturated once again. Yeah, see, there is a dotted red color border of 2 pixel around the image also. Now, how beautiful it looks. Superb. That's what we wanted. Clear? What is pseudo class and what how do you also choose elements inside another element to apply style? If there are other images on the page, those images won't get affected because of this. Okay, those images won't get affected because of this. If there are by any chance other images onto this, those images won't get affected. Clear? So that's the pseudo class concept. Now let's move on and try to achieve how do we get fully styled toolbar. Now before we get into it, somebody was also asking the other day, how can we do an alignment of input fields? So we need to cheat the system by achieve this alignment. What we need to do is we need to create these label input inside a table. Okay, that's what we need to do. So let's come down and I will create here a table, and in this table body only without any header, and then I create two table rows with two cells inside, and then another table row with two cells inside. Never copy paste the code, guys. If you are copy pasting the code, you are going completely in a wrong direction. And if a trainer is encouraging you to do copy paste, he is not teaching you, he is cheating you. And there are a lot of cheaters in the market. So don't believe on such trainers who believe in copy paste. They are just reading a book for you. That's it. They are not teaching you, they are not giving you knowledge. They are just passing on knowledge which they have got it from somewhere else as it is. Okay, their belief system is only copy paste. Somehow copy the code, paste it, show the output to student and complete the course. That's their intention. Their intention is to not give you knowledge at all. Okay, and they get rid of it quite easily. They will say, you don't want me to see, you don't want to see me typing, you don't want to see me typo, all that gyan they will give, and they get rid of their responsibility. When you write every single line of code, that's when you get to know the real issues. That's when you will come across problems, and problems is what make you learn. Okay, copy pasting is not the way of learning. I remove these div elements now, and now you will see we have arranged our table, we have arranged our input field and labels inside table. And now earlier you see it was like not having any alignment, but the moment you refresh, you can see it is having proper alignment. What shall I do to now see how the element is positioned on my HTML page or HTML tree structure? What shall I do to check how element is positioned on my tree structure of DOM? Anyone? How to check DOM? What to do? Anybody? Samir has got it perfect. Right click inspect the element, or you can also press F12. You all are right. You can also press F12 to look at the DOM. Come to elements, and now again choose this button and just highlight the element. You see you have a TD tag for label and input. It's part of tr is part of table, and this is also known as matrix layout. A table is nothing but a matrix. This is also known as matrix layout, in which the content is arranged into a matrix, into row and column format. So this is how alignment behind the scenes is achieved, by creating a table element and embedding things inside it. User will not see it like a table. User will see it like input field and labels, but it's behind the scenes a table. That's how we create layouts in system. It's called matrix layout. Okay, clear to everyone? Now moving next, how can we fully style this particular table what we have it? So I want to now fully style this table control. How can we achieve that? So let's go to the system. First of all, I want to bring the at this table level the linings. Okay, so let's do that. So what I'll do is I will just go to the top, and now I will say I want to bring a lining. So I want to bring a line on my table, comma, I want also bring line on my table data, TD cells, every cell, table header also, all three places I want. So this is also new syntax for you, where I have put all the selectors one by one. So in CSS, next funda fox of our course, we can put multiple selectors separated with comma. Okay, clear to everyone? We can put multiple selectors separated with comma. So style, this is a common style which will get applied to all of them. So I will now say border 1 pixel solid black. Save this, come back and refresh the page. Let's see, nothing happened. There is something wrong. Spelling of border, you can see I can also do typo. I am not God. I am also doing typo. See, I also do mistakes, and this is what makes you learn. Border property. Come back, refresh, and voila, you see now border is coming. But oh, you see the border is also affecting my label input. I don't want this to be get affected with any of the table level style which I do. What shall I do? Anybody? What shall I do?
Dot class we have to define.
Yes, so one thing you can do is option number one, where you define a class name based styling. Another option is I want on the entire screen only and only this table getting affected. Only one single element I want to get affected based on styling. So you are sure that you only want targeted therapy on a single element, on a single element, not a group of elements, not class of elements. You can go by ID based styling. Okay, because as you know that any element on an entire HTML page has a unique ID, and to apply an ID based styling we will use a special symbol called hash. Okay, so that's your third selector which I introduced now. So we saw by far selector as class name, we saw selector as tag name, and then comes his third selector, hashtag ID. This means I want to apply style only on this element which has this ID. So apply style on element which has this ID. That's my third selector of CSS. Hashtag is the symbol to tell that whatever I'm going to enter next is an ID, and enter the ID of the element, and then that's it. So let's go to the system and try achieving this. So I will come back and I will just add an ID to our table control. So let me just come down, and this guy here, this gentleman, I just add an ID, and I'll say this is my songs table. That's the ID I've given. Remember, it will be always unique on the entire page. Hashtag ID, songs, space, and then all your three tags. This is a targeted therapy. it will only first find an element with songs as an ID, and inside that songs, whatever these elements are, it will apply in a style on them. Let's go to the system and see this on the output. Come back and refresh, and you see it has given a targeted therapy to my table only. Oops, I don't see it's working. There is some problem. I think we have to do it at every level like this, hopefully. And let's refresh. Yes, you can see now it's applied the style only to my elements which are child of this songs table. Child of this songs table, only those elements are getting this. You can also avoid this table tag, not required anymore, because table tag level pay itself we have added these songs. So I just put that, and now refresh. You see a border is coming around the entire table, tds and th. But you see that's not how table should look like. Anyone, how should a table look like? Do you think this is how a table should look like? What should be the ideal look and feel of a table?
We need
Anyone?
to reduce the margin.
Right, we need kind of a merging of these nearby borders. So you see there are too many border lines around each cell. We don't want that. We want it to be a single line, right? We want it to be a single line like this. So how can we achieve that? And there is a nice property, no, not padding. We have a special property at the table level, and this property is known as border collapse property. Okay, border collapse property does what? It automatically adjusts nearby borders. Okay, nearby borders which are near to each other, it will collapse them and create a single border out of it. That's called border collapse property. So let's apply the border collapse property, and I say collapse, save it, refresh, and voila. Wow, amazing. You see it has automatically collapsed those borders and created a nice table for me. That's how you built a table in HTML. Looks like now a table. Thanks to CSS for bringing this possible. Now, what else? What else we can do with table? There's something amazing which we can do with table. So yeah, of course we can work on margin also. So let's add some margins on these elements. So maybe I will add a default margin uh, text hyphen. We had yesterday used one property to align it centrally, right? Text align property equals to center. So it will automatically work on the margins. Yes, now you see it's all center. You can also add some padding to make it look nice, and just say 4 pixel padding. And what I'll also do is I want to also add some space between this video and table. It's almost touching my table, so I will just go down, and you will see this is my video element iframe, and I will show you probably adding an inline style. And in this I will say padding or margin hyphen top equals to 10 pixels. So it will add a top margin with consecutive element with 10 pixels. That's an inline style which we have done. Let's come back, refresh, and now you see there's some margin here, guys, and you see also this, it's not almost touching the border. The text inside is not touching the border at all because we have added some padding between the border and the actual element of HTML. Now what else? We add some more records quickly. So here I will break once again the rule and just try to replicate more records just to show the example. Save it, and I come back, and I'll show you some nice feature which we have in Word document or our PPT. So what is so advantageous about this table? Can anybody guess why you love this table? What do you think this table looks better? This table has an advantage. What do you think? What is better in this
Color,
table? So
color, color
color,
of
yes.
like
This is coloring, alternate coloring, or you can call it pattern. This is called zebra pattern or zebra coloring. Zebra coloring, we all have seen zebras. So zebra have black and white shades. Okay, black white, black white, It's a beautiful nature. Zebra, the amazing animal on the wildlife. So that's zebra pattern. So that gives a readability. It increases the readability of row for person who is reading the table. Now, yes, ease of read, perfect word, Samir. It's ease of read. So what we do is we will also now want to apply this kind of ease of reading for our table. Okay, I want exactly the same kind of ease of read for our table. Okay, how can we achieve that? Using pseudo classes we can achieve this in CSS. So let's come back and watch carefully. So what I'll do is I'm gonna now apply this style on table row because I want alternate row color to be different. Okay, alternate row color to be different. So hash songs and then put a table row, and then you can put a pseudo class nth hyphen child. This is a pseudo class, guys, and you say odd child or even child. Every even number of row should have this style. Similarly, once again come down, hashtag songs, table identification. Inside that, whatever rows are there, it's nth child having odd, and then yes, you see how does it look like. Now let's add it. So I want background to be, let's say, for this guy pink, and for this guy maybe lime. Let me see what happens as a result. So let's come back, refresh, voila, you see how beautiful it looks. Unfortunately it didn't change to lime color. There is nothing called lime. Maybe I will change it to, let's say, pink. Sorry, it didn't change the pink color actually. To make it pink here, and refresh, voila, now you see how beautiful it looks. That's my zebra lining for my table. Everything is achievable in CSS the way we want. How beautiful my table looks. Increase the readability of the data. Of course, my color combination which I chose may not be that great to give that soothing look, but yes, at least you can feel that what you can achieve. That's a capability. But I want my heading to be always in a different color. I don't want it to be in this same color of the row. So let's apply a targeted therapy on heading of the table. So I come back and I say hashtag songs, and only especially to my table heading tags I want to apply a style, and I want to change background to yellow, and also want to change the font style or maybe the font property. So how can we control font in CSS? So let's Google so font style in CSS, and now you will see the font style property, and there you can see the font styles. You can also see font stretch on the left side. In the left panel you see font family, font name, all these properties are available. So you see here you can put italic, bold. This Georgia font is what I want, so that's a font family Georgia. So maybe I'll use font family as Georgia, and let's try this up. How does it look like? So maybe I can also reuse this piece of code. So that's how you can explore things up into the system. So let's apply this font also. Font family to Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif. That's the font I want. Come back, refresh, and you see font also looks little different for the heading, and heading color is also different. How beautiful your table looks like, thanks to all CSS. Without CSS this wouldn't have been possible. Yeah, so you see how beautiful your overall page looks like because of CSS. Now what next? I want to also apply a fully styled toolbar, like you remember I was showing on my website. This is a toolbar which I created on my website. How did I created it? I created using CSS. Actually it's an unordered list UL tag, and we converted it to a toolbar. How do we do it? So let's achieve this. So let's first put a UL tag, natural UL in the system, and then we will start applying the style on the tag. So I'll just probably come back on the here onto this level, and then I'll say UL tag, and then I will put list item, WebDin Pro, or I'll say SAP UI5 and Fiori, and then say SAP Fiori Launchpad and extension, and also come here li, and I put ABAP on HANA with S4 HANA. So these are my courses. Maybe I just also add something more, and I just put also an li element with, let's say, oops ABAP. Okay, so I put 4 elements inside. Okay, so now, okay, there is a question also here from Samir. What is the font out of these 3 defined? So Samir, just like border property, it takes 3 properties like border width, border type, and border color. Similarly, the font style property, what we had put, font family, it takes the font main font name, font class, and font category. Okay, these are all the 3 properties. So this is your font, actual font, this is the font class, and this is the font family. Okay, so this is how the font works. You can also just put one property as well, no problem. You can also put this, no problem. Okay, this is also fine. So this is actually the font family. You can put this. Clear? Come down. Now let's see what it displays to you. So let's come back, refresh, and now you see it's displaying a natural toolbar. Sorry, a natural list for us, an unordered list. I want now this whole list to be converted to a fully styled toolbar like this. This is what I want. How can we achieve this? So I should be able to click and it should take me somewhere, whatever. But I want at least it to be like a toolbar. So first of all, to bring a toolbar, you need to bring all of them in a single line. What shall we do, guys, to bring elements in a single line? Anybody? What shall we do to bring all of them? Perfect answer, Gotham. We will do a float. Let's float them up on the left side, and after that clear the float. So let's float. All the li tags should be floated. So let me go on the top. I'll say all the li tags should be floated to left. Yeah, come back, refresh. So you'll see, first of all, they all have come in a good single line. Very nice. What next? Remove the dots, remove this bubble bullet point, right? That also looking bad. I want to remove that bullets. So that's done at the UL tag level. There is a list style property and make it none. Okay, refresh. You see the bullet point have been disappeared. Now let's add some padding. Okay, let's add a nice padding. So I will add padding of, let's say, 20 pixels or maybe 12 pixels. Let's see what happens. When you add a padding, you see they all have been now separated out. You can see slowly I am moving towards building a toolbar. Yeah, so now you see all of them have been achieved with the padding, and they all have been separated quite nicely. Let's bring a toolbar now to bring a border around them. So let's bring a border around each of the element, and I say border 1 pixel solid black, and refresh, and you see now 1 pixel solid black border comes around them. Let's change their background color, orange, and color to white. So let's refresh, and you see the background color changed to orange, and front color have been changed to white. What next? I want also every text to be displayed in capital letter automatically. How can we do it? There is a property called text decoration. Okay, text decoration property, and I think we can pass here uppercase to convert it to uppercase. I don't remember the exact property value. So if I get confused or if I don't remember anything, I can always go to text decoration property in CSS. Yeah, it will directly show me. You see the property values, text decoration property, none, underline, line through, overline, lot of different values are available. So similarly, there has to be something called uppercase or something. So let me see, uppercase, not displaying here. So let me just come down and see this. I think it's text transform. Okay, Razi is correct. It's text transform property. Thank you, Raji. So let me just put text transform. You're right. It's uppercase. Correct. Let's try now and refresh. Voila. You see, thank you so much, Raji. And you see it got converted to uppercase. Text transform property. And now what else? I want it to be clickable. I want every link to be clickable and it should take me somewhere. So of course, as you all know that we can now nest the tags. So we can come to li and we can put it in anchor tag. And then let's do that. Anchor. Let's do an anchor. Yeah, we put an anchor, and then for every anchor we do give the href property. Where should it take me? So I say http, or maybe just quickly take it video, quickly take a video. So let's come down, and we already have a video, some couple of videos here. Right click, copy video url and paste it over here, and then just come down, right click, copy video url and just put it in href property over here, and then come back, href property over here. Let's come down, ABAP on HANA. Let me copy the video URL and paste it here. So you see now I had pasted all of them over here. Okay, similarly maybe just take down to oops ABAP, where it is, ABAP objects. Yes, here it is, ABAP objects. Copy this and let's put it href equals to done. We are done, and now it's clickable. So let's go back and check it out on the page, and it, when you click on it, it should take you somewhere. You see they all been turned into links now, but they are looking very bad. These links are looking very bad, so we don't want it to look like bad. So we want to bring it back to the old style. So I will clear the underlying style of the links. Okay, and that's where we use now this property which I was telling you. It's an anchor property. With anchor tag I'm saying text decoration to none. Don't decorate my text of links. Okay, just make it none. Let's come back, refresh, and you see it removed the decoration. Let's also change the color to white. Come back, refresh, and you see now it is back to, so nobody knows that these are links actually. We are cheating people. We are like giving them what we want to see them. They will never know that's a link, but the moment they click on it, it will take them to the YouTube video. You see, watch this video. It's a very helpful video, guys. End-to-end configuration Fiori Launchpad from my SAP Launchpad training. Very helpful video. You will learn how, what are all the different roles in a company, what do the people do with Fiori, how different, what are all the different job roles in a company with respect to Fiori. There's a very nice introductory video on Launchpad which will be very helpful for you. Let's come back. Now you see this is how my content looks like, but there's one more piece missing to make it more beautiful, is the pseudo class. So let's add a pseudo class. When I hover on this, it should change the color. So that's something which you can do at li level. Li hover and say background to red. Refresh, and now see the magic. I take my mouse and it changes the background color of my element based on the one which I hover on. How beautiful. Fully styled toolbar, guys. Congratulations, fully styled toolbar. You can also change the border color to make it more better. So you see 1 pixel solid black, change it to white. Refresh, and you see fully styled toolbar. How beautiful it looks. Congratulations, you have converted using CSS a UL tag to a fully styled toolbar. It's all about CSS. What you see on internet, beautiful pages, it's all because of CSS. All because of CSS. Nothing outside that. Okay, that's my fully styled toolbar. See what are all the different styles we have learned in this unit. Okay, now coming to the next topic, external styling. What is external styling? We will now separate out all the style code and keep it in a different file altogether. That's called external styling. Same concept applies in ABAP. We have concept of include program in ABAP. What is concept of include program? Whatever code you have it, you separate it and put it in an include program, and then you write include program name dot in your main program. So all data declarations, subroutines, whatever you put in there in the reusable include program will get referenced. Okay, that's the code for include program. So similar to this, we will now separate out all of this stuff what we have done into completely different file and reference that file over here in the main page. So that's called external CSS. The beauty of external CSS is, let's say today I created one CSS. Okay, in that I've given some certain class names, standardized class names, and I provide you a guide that if you do this class, this will be the color, this will be the style. If you use this class, this will be the color, this will be the style. Then you can follow the guidelines provided by me. You don't have to recode everything. You just reference my CSS file, follow my guideline which I gave you, and that's it. You can design a beautiful web based application. This type of things, what I'm saying to you is called as frameworks, and one of such framework is Bootstrap framework, which gives you collection of reusable CSS and JavaScript files to achieve common operations required to build a website. Similar to this, there are a lot of different frameworks. So Bootstrap is one of the popular framework which people use to get automatic styling done by referencing the Bootstrap CSS. Okay, so that's a Bootstrap framework. Just for knowledge purpose, we are not going to use any Bootstrap framework in our Fiori chapters. Okay, I'll start with UI5 and Fiori soon. So we have now two more units left. One is three more units left, two units on JavaScript and one unit on jQuery. So that's when you will learn a lot. So let's proceed and try to separate out this whole piece of code, whole bunch of code, into a different file altogether. So what I'll do is I come to web app, new, and I create a new folder called style folder, and I say I just add a file anubhav.css and just take all the style code from here. Okay, take all of it, cut it, and paste it in the Anubhav CSS. Okay, done. Anubhav.css, I pasted it. And now let's come back. Will it work or not work? Anyone? Will my styling work or not work now? Anyone? No. Everyone saying no. Why? Why no? Yes, perfect answer. We just separated it, but we did not reference it yet. Refresh. Boom. It blasted. And you see how your page looks now. It looks so bad, it looks so crude, and that's how what happens when you load certain websites and CSS misses. If in case CSS file missed to load, then the page become orphan, page become like this. You will see complete content will get distorted. Yeah, that's the beauty of CSS. Let's now reference this. So to reference this, we use a special tag called link tag in the main HTML file, and then we can give here the reference. So we give relation type, and it's uh, style sheet. Okay, and then we will give, I think, the src or href property, I guess. Let me try href property, and we give here style folder slash anubhav dot css. Save this. Let's come back, refresh, and voila, you see it connected to the style page or a style file which I've given it, and I referenced it now. So you can imagine if I will give you some ready to use rich file or rich CSS file which you can consume by learning my rules of the game, you can quickly build a web application which is responsive, because all the CSS comes from a ready-made file. You can also build a CSS, and if W3C approves it, you will get royalty. You can file a patent on your CSS also. It's possible. You build a CSS which gives you an amazing responsive web page with beautiful look and feel, and you can win an award, or probably you can file a patent on that dedicated CSS and you can sell it in the market. Yeah, so these are all the things which you can actually do, but that's not our job. We are not a web developer. Mainly in companies where people are doing web development, they do these kind of things. But yes, if somebody is interested, go ahead, build your own CSS, launch it in the market, file a patent. If you get a patent, you can of course sell it then, charging licensing fees on the same in the market. But imagine the concept is important. Concept is you can reference a file from somewhere else, and it could be from internet also. You can reference the file, and then whatever written in that file will be yours. Yeah, it's actually like, now if I follow the rules of the game, okay, if I follow the rules of the game, or I will follow the rules of these class names, then I can produce similar output wherever I like. Okay, and this collection of such files together is combined inside a framework called Bootstrap, which is a very popular framework on the internet. People, web developers are using to build their web application. My website is also built using Bootstrap framework. So my website also, I didn't coded every CSS. I just reused the Bootstrap framework and built this website. And this is, by the way, built by me only, nobody else. I'm the only one who is managing the whole stuff. All courses what you see are offered by me, except the hybris course, which is just something offered by my colleague in the company. But rest all the courses are only and only offered by me. It's an effort of last 15 to 16 years. And you'll see free interview question. Recently we have posted on UI5 and Fury. One of my student has posted free interview questions. I highly encourage all of you to download these free interview questions and keep it with you. Also, those who are going for a BAP on HANA interview, you can go ahead and download the free interview questions on a BAP on HANA from my website, absolutely free for you to download. Those who are going for basic ABAP interview, you can go ahead and download free interview questions on basic ABAP, and also on WebDyn Pro ABAP it is available. You can see WebDyn Pro ABAP interview questions are also available. So it's your choice. You can go ahead and download it from onlinefurytrainings.com. Okay. And by the way, these interview questions are also prepared by one of my student only, by learning from the course, and you will see a lot of similarity when you will look at these interview questions. What am I teaching is what will match with those questions. Okay, any question before we close today's class? Anyone? We are done with CSS chapter. Any disadvantage using external CSS? No disadvantage. This is the preferred way. If you want to quickly get your website built, the better is to use. In fact, it's an advantage, because now you separated your style code in a different file and your actual HTML code is in a different file, right? That's an advantage actually. If you do that, it's an advantage, because you separated your code in a separate file. If there is a change in the color required, you don't have to touch your HTML file. You can just come check out your CSS file, update it, update and save it. That's it. You don't have to touch your HTML code or any other code. Clear responsibility. That's what the object oriented principle also says. Why object oriented principle was introduced was also one reason is clear responsibility of object. What an object will do, that's a clear responsibility. Similarly here, there's a clear responsibility with .css file, what they will do, what they're capable of, and what is an HTML file will do. So if you see the extensions .html, only HTML code ideally should be there. .css, only CSS code you will be there. So that's one of the best way to modularize your code. And then in fact, parallel developers can also work. So there is a dedicated UI designer who will only work with CSS coloring and stuff. The HTML designer only work with HTML page. Okay, so they can also work in parallel with two different files without any conflict. That's also an advantage of modularizing your code, right? Any other question? No questions? Okay, fine. Then that's it for the day. See you tomorrow in the next class, and we will start with JavaScript in the next session. Very important session, guys. Those who are first time going to work with UI5 Fiori, it will be very helpful session for you to get used to JavaScript coding techniques. And these JavaScript coding techniques will help you in coding UI5 and Fiori. So don't panic if you are just college pass out, you are not learning anywhere else anything, you don't know anything at all, you can still learn UI5 Fiori quite easily. Okay, so don't worry about it, we'll see that. Next question here, I am unable to subscribe to the blog and discussion section. Please send me an email, Lokesh, I will check it right away. I will check it right away. Okay, great. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day and goodbye.